your question is about different markets really. I think you're talking about China, where people are coming out of a cycle, which was an easy cycle, I would say, an easy business, easy retail, do it all and sell it all, which is obviously over, and people start to realize now that they have to work in a different way on the market, that they have to work on a more efficient way and manage their inventory, manage their stores, manage their staff, manage their products, manage their marketing in a different way. For the other markets in Asia, I think we are really in the same trend as what we were in the past. You still need to work very hard on your brand. Customers are more demanding day after day. I think every market is picking up at one time or another. You have Indonesia, Malaysia are interesting markets. They're growing very fast. You have a middle class that is emerging. India is growing very fast, but more than the actual purchasing power, what is important is the distribution and the organization of the distribution. So as the countries open up, and that's what happened with China 20 years ago, but as the countries open up their distribution to foreign brands, the competition organizes the distribution, and you are on an offer market rather than a demand market. Then the markets evolve, like China today, where the demand is more prevalent than the offer, if you want. Well, again, in China, I think there's a very big slowdown. A lot of retailers went opening a lot of stores. They wanted to open very, very fast. Maybe they forgot that China is not one country. It's many different provinces, many different cities. So in China, yes, there is a slowing down in terms of trend of pattern of opening. People open less stores. They are more cautious. They're looking for the better spot. So the expertise required to work on the retail is also evolving. People don't just open a store, they look for the right store. And obviously, there are not that many malls that are good. There are not that many department stores that are good, and everybody's going to be fighting for the same spots. So competition in that sense is getting harder. When you start not making so much money in China or losing money in China, you are looking at your priorities a different way, and you start disinvesting, which might be a mistake, but you start disinvesting from other markets, such as Japan, for instance, which is very solid still. The profitability of the business in Japan, well, yes, I mean, you know, it's still the second or third largest country in the world in terms of GDP. They're in a recession, but the business is very big there. It's still the second business for luxury products in the world. So, you know, yes, it's a recession. There's an issue with the Japanese yen, but the market is extremely strong there. It's as big as Europe as a whole again. So now another market that is very large for our consumer goods or, you know, textile or any kind of even luxury goods in Asia is obviously Korea. Korea is a very, very solid market. I think the big issue for retailers is digital rather than which mall you're going to at the moment. There's so much you can do. There are so many customers. There's a time when you just can't open the same store all over the place. The customers will not just multiply. So you need to change your mix. You need to address your customers in a different way and be attractive. But as I said, I think the big issue for brands today is going to come is the digital world. You know, is how do we manage to have presence on the web and our stores, and which stores should we keep and which stores should we close. Changes, difficulties, challenges, making sure you do things the proper way. Again, you know, in China, it's about doing things properly rather than speeding up, and I think that's why brands have understood. So you need to have the right talents. You need people maybe to change a little bit their mindsets. And on the other markets, it's going to be about brand building more than ever. Because, again, the customers need to feel what the brand is about. In China today, we have, 550 million of people that are connected. Most of them spend their life on their mobile phones. They didn't go through the PC, they didn't go through anything else. They have their smartphones, they do their shopping on smartphone, they talk to their friends, they pay the taxi with their smartphone. They do things that for us are pretty new. They spend their life on WeChat, you know, it's everything. So how does it affect the brand? If you're not there, you're affected. If you're there, how do you take advantage? Just another question. How do you leverage? So what's the next big thing? And I think really the complexity is how do you manage to be on the web, to be in a positive way on the web, to have good feedback on the web. Because the more you expose yourself and the more you expose your brand, the more you're liable to have bad exposition and bad return. So it's really a question about building your brand and having good feedback, and in the meantime, transforming this to sales. I think there again, there's a difference between the countries, but definitely in China, it affects all the brands. Because China is big, it's a big country, and people will have the possibility to look on the web first before they can access a store. So, and this is in the habits now and in the culture. In Hong Kong, which is maybe a different, more mature society, I think it's a little bit more about luxury products still. And in the other countries, I don't think we are there. But it's definitely a very important trend, anyways. Again, for any brand to do something proper on the web. So what do? Do you readdress your brand in order to serve your existing customers, or do you still try to target your new customers? And I think that's a process that every brand goes through, that you want to keep your existing customers, but you need to recruit new customers all the time. We have an identity, we have a customer base, we talk to the people that like our products, they like the authenticity, they like the craftsmanship, they like the quality, they like the story, they like the origin, the fact that we are 160 years old brand from France, and that we've been working in the protection business for 160 years, you know, starting with the rubber boots. In France, for instance, everybody knows the brand. You know, 160 years, everybody knows the brand. But because everybody has grown as a kid, as a child, with rubber boots from AIGLE. You remember when you were a kid, you went to the beach with your grandparents, you were playing with in the water puddles around, and these are all very good memories, and you've done this with your AIGLE boots. So there is a strong attachment to the brand. So, and you know, these are values that talk to people at a certain age or to certain people, but not to everybody at every time. We are targeting again people that, you know, in their they've reached a certain aspect of their life, their families. We are talking to men and women. They have children, young children. We are what we call an urban outdoor brand. So urban outdoor, you know, protection during your city life, during your outings on weekends. We want to talk to you when you are in leisure time, when you go travel, obviously, but also when you go business. And so, but again, at a certain age, when people understand what quality means and are not just obsessed by labels or obsessed by, you know, fashion trends, we are more quality, yes, more integral, yes. We have few markets which we explore in a very deep way. And on each market, I think we've been overperforming the market and overperforming the competitors. So it's been a good year, specifically in Asia for us. And few last years have been very good for the growth of the brand. We are a French brand. We bring style to our products, but because of our roots in the outdoor and the mountaineering world, we also bring protection. I think there's only a very few brands that combine style, design, and really a absolute will to change and evolve the products and the collections with perfect protection. We use technical fabrics, we use the best, the most efficient fabrics, and we combine this with style. So I think this is where people understand the difference. The loyalty that we have from our customers is extremely high. So this is something we're very happy with and very proud. Our customers are really part of the family. They come back years after years after years to the brand. At the regional office for AIGLE, we have French people, obviously, but we have Taiwanese people, we have Hong Kong staff. We have a great mix. We have our Korean team in Korea, we have more Taiwanese and Chinese people in Beijing, and all this works very, very well. Because I think they all adhere very much to the brand values. And as long as everybody adheres to the brand values and works into, you know, this same understanding of what the brand wants and expects, the melting pot works very, very well. So once you have the right talents, once they are within your company and they understand what you want and they adhere very much to the company's culture, retention becomes more important than ever. Yeah. And obviously you try very hard to keep your talents. We are recognizing the work and the hard work, and we recognize the fact that they do well, and I think this is already quite important. Of course, you know, you need to you start with the package and you start with the compensation. It's important. You bring in training, a little bit of mobility whenever it's possible, from one country to another in Asia or from one position to another. But again, I think there's a sense of belonging that is extremely important. And we've had people that have been with the organization for a very, very long time, simply because they feel very good.